before it gets dark and lights are turned down and trains put off to another day. In merciless quiet, revealing I have forever and completely lost my way. I down a last drink and drown for some hours. How madly I'm challenged by unrest. Tomorrow I'll leave to build a new mansion way up on the towering crest. Each step takes me higher and higher. I know I can reach the impossible goal, the vanishing point of desire. Oh, high is the price for what keeps me going, and dearly I'll pay for my sin. Cold winds from the north, from a fathomless source, carry the new ice age in.
Good evening and welcome back to Jerusalem, where King Nuno the Lionheart has recently been victorious in a crusade, and my other laptop I usually run IRC on is refusing to boot properly. So I may not be very able to actually read anything anyone's saying. So let's look at what's going on with King Nuno. Apart from the fact that we appear to have an African revolt. Oh, maybe the other laptop is working today. We appear to have an African revolt in pale blue. That's an exciting colour for an African revolt. Why is it pale blue, I wonder, rather than dark green? Anyway, we appear to have an African revolt. So the kingdom of Africa that I left behind in, well, Africa, is beginning to break up, interestingly. But more pertinently, King Nuno's desire to found the Empire of Outremer is being, oh, the other laptop's working, is being foiled rather by the fact that bits of his kingdom keep disappearing. So quite some time ago, this county, Irbid, separated off and somehow became part of the Byzantine Empire. Apparently as part of the domain of Queen Helen of Armenia. And now this county, Daria, has ended up under the control of the King of Franconia, who's part of the Holy Roman Empire. Which is A, all the way over there, and B, enormous. So, yeah, I don't quite know what's going on. I might actually try to understand this a bit.
It occurs to me that the things that are inheriting out are empires.
It's inheriting out into empires,
into
true.
Empires. And it looks like it's going out to other monarchs or emperors. So people of equal rank to you. Which may have something to do with it. That would require me finding the wiki.
Because the thing is that that Jerusalem's crown authority is meant to prevent this kind of thing. So this Mark Vard of Daria, who died like a couple of years ago, at the point when the thing fell out of my my realm. The county was under agnatic cognatic gavelkind. And it was the only title he held. So I would have expected it to go. His eldest son was the King of Franconia. And it's his grandson, so the great-grandson of the person who held it in my realm, still is the one who inherited it. And he inherited it directly, but so that happened on 1260-09-13. Okay, it's not strictly ISO 8601, but still. Right, so the interesting thing is that the way that this got inherited was that young Conrad inherited the county in Jerusalem and then inherited the kingdom of Franconia. And thus his vassalship followed the higher title. So it wasn't that the county inherited out of the kingdom. It was that the holder of the county inherited a better title, which is arguably not the county being inherited out of the kingdom. In particular, it's not something that can be fudged by changing the inheritance rules, except by changing the inheritance rules of the foreign county, of the foreign kingdom, changing the inheritance rules of the kingdom of Franconia in order not to violate the crown authority of the kingdom of Jerusalem, which, yeah, you could see it would be kind of rude caused Conrad to be unable to inherit the kingdom of Franconia because he'd inherited this piddling little county in the middle of the Arabian desert.
Well, I mean,
You should be able
the
to force
sensible
him
way
to
around
revoke.
would be able to say, well, you can keep this county and stay my vassal, or you can renounce being my vassal and renounce this county.
Yes.
But you don't get to keep the county and go.
And go and not be my vassal. Yes, indeed. The sensible thing would obviously be to force him to abdicate, or for him to have the option of abdicating at the point when he was about to inherit the kingdom of Franconia. Yes. Sorry, I was just having the brief thought of what if he inherited the kingdom of Franconia and thus became independent of me, but he didn't. He was still a vassal of the HRE. Anyway, so I think that at least explains how it happened, and I bet the same applies to this one, though it was quite a long time ago, so I rather doubt that I can trace
To try and do that, yes.
trace what happened as easily.
But it's almost certainly the same mechanism.
Well, there's Despot Phocas II of Armenia, who inherited this on 1245, 1023, and inherited Armenia in 1255. So yes, it was certainly a similar procedure. Right. So we think we know how that happened. I'm not sure we have any way to prevent it other than by being a bit more careful about who we grant counties to. And in the meantime, we have to fix it.
I mean, how strong or otherwise are you and the relevant other empires?
Getting there. So I currently have 52,000 troops,
Not bad. How much cash have you?
and I could get that up. And I would have another 6,000 if I were patient. I have 15.3 thousand cash.
Yep.
The Byzantine Empire, which is the softer of the two, has 35,000 troops, so about 17,000 less than me, and 14,000 cash. The HRE has 56,000 troops, so 4,000 more than me, but only 786 cash.
Right. So the obvious thing to do at this point is to go to war with the HRE. While they've got no money, you've got lots, and basically, you raise all your troops. Possibly hire some mercenaries, although possibly not. The HRE is quite big; it will take them a while to get their cat together.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
they will have quite a bit of time while you ship people over.
so actually there are other things I want to pay attention to first, but we'll deal with that in a moment.
I'm imagining in my head that mercenaries look a bit like this.
So one possibility that was suggested was to simply not attack, to occupy the one county that they have down here, and then just sit and wait, collect the ticking war score for occupying it, and fend them off if they ever come to get me.
That's certainly
So keep my troops at home. Don't try to invade the Holy Roman Empire,
yeah.
and just see who rusts first. Like it's a county in the middle of the desert.
We know that. Ian did.
And especially for the HRE, they're going to have to come in by sea. If we spot them approaching, we dump a 20,000 strong army on the coast opposite them and say, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough.
Certainly got some potential benefits here.
I mean, at least it would be an approach to a war that I haven't tried before. I'm not sure if that will work for the Byzantine Empire because we do actually have a frontier with
They
them.
are too close.
But they're also a bit softer.
I mean, but the thing there is actually, under those circumstances, so long as they're neither of them are in defensive pacts, which seems unlikely,
Given they're stronger than
go
me.
to war with both of them at once. Because basically, by the time you occupy those two counties, get your ticking war score going, while you're doing that, invade the Byzantine Empire to get
and basically sit on the county's nearby border so I can get back fast.
Yeah.
Probably have a few ships scattered around the Med to see when the HRE is going to turn up.
Yeah. Because then you can leave the Byzantine one to
Yes.
fend for itself for it.
So the slightly dubious bit of
Or do the Byzantine Empire first, and then let your troops kind of.
I like the idea of doing it in parallel personally.
It's slightly more courageous.
Yeah.
You have a lot of money.
Yes. So there's a bit of kind of diplomacy first, which is that I decided that my wife was inadequate.
Oh yes.
And given that I have successfully seduced my target, so not only is she excellent in many ways, she is also in love with King Nuno. It seems perfectly reasonable now to try to marry her. I mean, yes, she is still only 18, but divorce. I'm very popular with the Pope. Well, I've checked this actually. I quickly ran some experiments this morning. I can't actually quite divorce her. But the Pope's acceptance score is 0, as in precisely on the edge. I just won't let you divorce her. Interestingly, his major reason why he thinks I should be allowed to divorce her is it's an incestuous marriage. He thinks she's adequately closely related to me. I mean, she's not that closely related. She does... Okay, sorry, I mouse over the thing and it said, a close member, brackets, wife of your dynasty. Yes, I mean, technically, in that respect, she is a close relative, but... But, like, I think she's not actually a very closely related cousin. Possibly the Pope is terribly confused and thinks that because she's my wife, she's a close relation, and because she's of the same dynasty, that means it must be incestuous. But I don't think the Pope's that stupid. Actually, the Pope is pretty stupid.
Good catch-all excuse
If you can get it. Like, the Pope is not... Actually, he's got pretty decent learning. He's also cynical and syphilitic. So all we need to do is slightly improve his opinion of us. And we can do that by sending him some beer. So it doesn't even cost any money. Not when you own a brewery, no. I own a brewery, which means I can send Pope Callistus II a case of beer, and then I can't send anyone any beer for a year. But
That's a big case.
well, possibly I'm drinking the rest of it myself.
Well, there is that.
Right, so now the Pope's opinion of me is 56, and I can thus ask to be divorced. It will cost me 571 prestige, but I have 6,603 prestige, and I only need 5,000. It will also cost me 10 piety, but I have I have 6,603 piety, of which it will cost me 10. I have 13,000 prestige, of which I need 5,000, and it will only cost me 571. It does say will be viewed as an insult by her relatives, but I didn't in my quick experiments manage to find a relative who was insulted. So like, it doesn't cause all of my sons to hate me or anything like that just because she's a Di Spoleto. So I have sent a request to the Pope to annul my marriage, so that Nuno can marry someone else, someone less closely related to him.
Now it turns out the other woman says no.
She can't. She's my vassal. And anyway, she has a plus well over 100 opinion of me. So, like, and that's not just because she's my lover and attracted to me because I seduced her. She also likes me for being genius, kind, just. We're both charitable, we're both kind, we're both zealous. And I'm a renowned duelist and highly prestigious and have ludicrous personal diplomacy. So, meanwhile, she has all of her scores above 10, which is pretty good, apart from personal combat, but we're not planning to use her for that. And she's a genius, which is part of how she has all of her personal scores above 10. So declare war on the Holy Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire simultaneously. YN.
The Pope is not connected with either of those.
Yeah, let's just wait for the reply from the Pope, just in case I screw something up in that respect. Pretty sure no one's... Right. To the magnificent King Nuno, peace be with you. After much prayer and meditation, I have decided to grant your request to divorce your spouse on the grounds of consanguinity. Okay. King Nuno is now unmarried and indeed has never been married to his most recent wife because it was an annulment. So she doesn't appear in the list of wives. So now I can marry Elvira Velf, my lover, and all will be well. There we go, duly married. Should then fix up some of my, improve these personal scores a bit. Helga di Spoleto is grumpy. Yes, she is merely marked as of my dynasty, so it's not like she was that close a relation. Impressively, she doesn't have a very low opinion of me, despite a -40 for divorced. Anyway, oh yes, and I can't yet claim Iraq owing to de jure Iraq now encompassing Kiev and Crimea.
Right. Okay, well...
The de jure kingdom of Iraq comes all the way out here. There are people holy warring the Najidids for Crimea.
Good in a certain specialised sense.
No one is yet holy warring them for Kiev. So maybe if someone gets Crimea and Kiev off them, I will be able to usurp Iraq finally. Pink Bee says, I'm led to understand that the ownership of Iraq, Crimea, etc. has been a matter of some discussion. Right, okay, so let's just check that I can claim the 2 counties I want. I don't have a personal claim on Urbid, but I do have a claim on behalf... Oh. Do I have a claim on behalf of someone landed? Yes, good. I have a feeling Countess Jimena is a problem in some respects. So which one of those do I want to claim it on behalf of? Duke Nuno is probably the best plan. Yeah, I mean, it's right next to him. Is it part of his de jure thingamy? No, but it is right next door. Okay, and let's confirm that we can also declare war on the Holy Roman Empire. No, fun though it would be to claim Greater Poland, we are just claiming just a de jure claim on Daria. Right, okay. So, de jure claim on Daria against the Holy Roman Empire. Claim Urbid on behalf of Duke Nuno of Galilee against the Byzantine Empire. Right, I'm sure this will be fine. The Kingdom of Franconia has raised 13,000 troops in Daria. So I think I'd probably raise everyone because we're going to want to make sure they're not too stressed. We will rather curiously, rather than marching everyone from inland Arabia to the coast, actually be marching people into inland Arabia briefly. That, on the other hand, is still too far away. I'm making a pig's ear of this attempt at selecting people. Zoom in a bit, it'll be easier then.
There's a thing StarCraft programmers do at the start of the game where they constantly constantly move the mouse pointer back and forth across their starting workers, block selecting them repeatedly. I don't think it has any bearing on the game. I think it's just a way to get their mouse action warmed up for the frantic selecting of things they're going to be doing later. And for a moment there, I was constantly block selecting your troops, but I thought this is very familiar.
Yeah, it was just me getting it wrong repeatedly.
Well, that might be what they're doing too, if it's practice.
Whatever. Actually, I should check that if someone is trying to murder someone, that they're not doing so in order to get themselves sneaky access to a
Sneaky access at a distance.
yeah, sneaky access to an inheritance that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, because you don't want another one.
Send them out to the coast and put some ships out there to pick them up. Also put some fleets further out in the Mediterranean to give us some early warning. Get our early troops into the mountains. on the grounds that mountains are easy to defend. Right, let us Helga di Spoleto is pissed off, probably is pissed off as well. Right, let's make sure that we have a siege leader there. We're still trying to organise enough of an army to comprehensively squash them. Okay, that may go badly. Oh well, nothing for it now. Let's put in some excellent commanders and hope for the best. Okay, maybe we shouldn't put in any excellent commanders in case they get hurt, because they're getting a defensive advantage from already being in the mountains. I can't stop myself arriving there. I can't dismiss an army that's already on the move. So let us get all of our commanders out of harm's way and accept that that army is a loss. Newt. Right, there's a small Byzantine Empire army there. I think that means we do our best to go and squish them hard with this medium-sized Jerusalemite army. Let's turn that one around as well, just to be on the safe side. Meanwhile, no, wrong button. Okay, slightly embarrassingly, we are actually winning that battle that I went, oh sod it, we're never going to win that one. Because apparently even without any leaders, my troops are still pretty good. On the other hand, there's that lot of reinforcements about to come in for the enemy. Oh, look, they've broken me. Right, good. On the other hand, we won the Battle of Mirabel, so as expected. Right, you lot can now head up to another mountain hex up there. Meanwhile, down in Daria, that's now enough army to take that lot on. Right, that lot are indeed arriving first, so that should be fine. Right, we probably don't actually need that fleet immediately, because that lot are probably fleeing back to my territory, yes. Let's move that fleet down to there, because then they'll have pretty decent visibility of the Eastern Med, and should thus be able to see more incoming HRE troops. So there's quite a big Byzantine army. We want to ensure that all of ours are getting themselves organised up there. Let's make sure that one has an organiser pushing it along, because we're going to want them to get there quite quickly. So my hope is that I'll be able to hold these mountains as necessary. That hex is desert. Let's get out of that hex. Okay, we can't get out of it fast enough. So in that case, we need this lot to have some reasonably competent commanders, and possibly we send some of the troops that way to act as reinforcements. Well, that seems to have been enough to cause the Byzantines to decide not to go this way. So then we'll stop bringing in the reinforcements. That will probably make them change their minds again, but piling that lot into Edessa should be fine. Right, we have 10% war score against the Byzantine Empire. Of course, we have one of the holdings in Irbid. We will stay there and continue besieging it. Meanwhile, down here we have... Oh! They have buggered off. Yes, they've dismissed their troops on the grounds that they were about to get defeated. I didn't know the AI was that clever. I am doing. My troops... Actually, let's just make sure that the other incoming troops are actually programmed to go all the way into Daria proper now. Yes, it will just take a little while to finish marching. I'd sent my troops in there. They merely hadn't got there yet because they had only just set off. Right, still no sign of the HRE bringing anyone in. Conveniently, someone else is getting thrashed by the Byzantine Empire. See, they're in mountains. That might not be enough of a... They're quite nearby. Slightly wondering if I should send Samara some reinforcements. Let's be brave and send some reinforcements in there. Actually, it is adjacent to this hex as well. But will I get the defensive advantage? We'll see. It's looking good. Well, we're committed now. Oops. Okay, I put all the good commanders in the wrong thing. Can I move my... I can move myself. I can still swap commanders even though I can't change what the army's doing.
Change who's bellowing at them to do it.
Yes. Looks like my vassal's going to win that battle anyway without my help, but right. Helping is nice. So I got no war score from that, but I did get some prestige and some military tech. Now they need to go back to Edessa as quickly as possible. Oh, they've already got Arif in one of their flanks, haven't they? That lot need to head back there. That lot need to be merged together. That lot need a siege leader. Oh, right. Amalfi. Amalfi is... Oh, Amalfi is now HRE, is it? They finally managed to take Amalfi. Right. So... they have quite sensibly come in along the coast. Right, and there's a Holy Roman fleet on its way as well.
Mr. King cures basically any disease. To do this, you press the apply button midway, which causes him to use a tool in general sort of sense. It is never specified in what manner one applies a unicorn horn, given that you still have the horn afterwards, so it didn't grind to a powder and eat it. Maybe like a sort of queen.
So now I need to think about how I deal with each of these armies. We've just, well, we haven't gained any war score from that battle with the HRE because it wasn't really our battle. So I think we probably need to peel off some troops to come back and deal with that Amalfitan army. Actually head for that county because it's kind of convenient. We'll keep this lot down here dealing with the HRE county. So there's another 13,000 Byzantine troops there that we might want to pay attention to. Well, let's allow some time to pass. So there's potentially 900 Byzantine troops coming ashore in Jaffa, I think. In that case, send that lot to Jaffa to meet them. And hope my sums are right. So that's all reasonably stable. Supply limit there's 13,000, which we're going to stay inside. And we want to push that over quickly. We need to wait a bit and see where the Amalfitans are going. It looks like they're coming up the coast. So I do have a bit of a problem there, in that there's a danger they're going to run into the back of this army, possibly in Jaffa.
You mean you might get run over by their van?
Yeah.
I know they don't really have a van in this game.
So one possibility is to raise some mercenaries in Jerusalem, which is like a convenient location. Another is to pull this lot in from their current siege in order to reinforce things and maybe camp in the hills of Jerusalem, where we'll have a slight defensive advantage. I mean, we have terrifying amounts of money. So we could totally hire like the Rus company of 11,000 men. And like they cost 600 gold a year, which means that my 15,000 gold would run out in, well, longer than I hope this war was going to take. Yeah, solid. Let's hire a huge pile of mercenaries. They'll start out with no morale, but I think they'll probably be fine. Actually, what that suggests, no, those are the ones we want to burn if we are going to get in a fight. And we hope that by the time that becomes necessary, they will have strengthened a bit. So I was going, oh yes, they'll that's a 9 fleet, so they'll have brought at most 900 troops with them. They brought 14 troops. I was slightly worried these guys weren't going to be able to get out of this battle fast enough to avoid this lot trampling all over them. But maybe that's not going to be a problem. Right. But I've noticed that that Amalfitan army has a maximum size of 30,000 and is reinforcing quite fast. I don't quite know how they reinforce in my territory, but possibly, is there an Amalfitan trade post there? No. So I think I should clamp down on them fairly swiftly. Let's very rapidly finish this siege. And then send that lot at least as far as Jerusalem. Now, I think we want to put off getting into a fight with the Amalfitans until at least we've got this lot here. So that lot will flee from Jaffa towards Jerusalem, and then we'll reorganise that lot later. Right, meanwhile, let's look at what's going on up here. I think we want to keep a decent quantity up there unless we're actually going to abandon that territory. I think that lot are frankly not being useful and look kind of delicate. So I think we bring them down to the coast. Those guys are going to Edessa, and we'll bring that lot up to a nice, just shy, in the mountains, just shy of the supply limit, which I think will be good. So, still haven't got everyone in there. So we want this lot to be at full morale before they do anything exciting. So they're going to Acre. Acre is hills. Okay, what I think I shall do then is if I divert this lot to Acre and then get everyone else to meet in Acre, we can probably have a decent army there, and we get some benefit from, some defensive benefit from being in hills. It's not as good as mountains, but because I presume this lot can get to Acre first, and that should be a small enough mob that so they'll get in on the 6th of August. She will hold these technically here until that lot of movement locked. Yeah, so we'll arrive a day earlier. That army should then be equipped with my best commanders. And then we'll arrange to bring in more as soon as this lot of movement locked. Hang on, I got that the wrong way around. This one should have the best commanders. That one should have an organiser. so that they'll arrive, the reinforcements will arrive as soon as possible. That's all looking fairly sensible. Meanwhile, this lot have still not managed to get into Darien, but we have got some troops in Darien besieging the holdings there. Right, we've taken some territory actually in the main body of the Byzantine Empire as well, just because we can. And now a battle that starts out looking slightly poor for us, but we do have the better commanders, plus we have another 12,000 troops about to arrive. Hmm?
How are you getting on down in the other border?
Everyone has finally turned up. All of my people have finally turned up and are besieging. There are only 2 holdings to take there. No, we haven't successfully. Well, this battle might help. I'm not quite sure because it appears to be an Amalfitan army rather than directly an HRE army. So I don't know if I'm actually going to get any war score for this battle, but that siege down there should help. Yeah, okay, of course someone was besieging Dorilion. I wish I didn't own it, frankly. This campaign has been easy pickings. Yeah, right. Swinging my sword over the hills is a pleasure, and my fellow soldiers are equally jovial. Surrounded by the blood of our Greek enemies and cries of battle. Look, enemy commander France is hiding, someone suddenly shouts, pointing off into the distance. Oh, how lovely. I shall duel him myself. Just as I crack several of his ribs, France manages to bash his battle axe into the side of my body. Then he stumbles down into the dirt. I turn to the stormy skies above me, sending a prayer of thanks to God. It was all worth it. I am badly bruised, but France is wounded.
Bash his battle axe, literally, as in not the sharp edge.
Yeah, yes, indeed. I should probably not get into any more battlefield duels right now. Yeah, that wasn't worth any war score. How infuriating. You have been studying alchemy recently for the sole purposes of learning everything you can about poisons. You have learnt the answers to important questions such as which poisons are the most potent, which are the most difficult to detect, and how best to guard against them. This knowledge may save my life one day. Gain 1 intrigue. Allegedly. Right, let's organise these troops back into a sensible arrangement by sending the ones that aren't mercenaries back to the siege of Irbid. Right, so that, annoyingly, fighting the Amalfitans didn't gain me any war score. But it did keep them out. King Nuno the Lionheart fulfilled the ambition to improve intrigue. I should probably send my Chancellor somewhere else, because this guy kind of loves me now. Duchess of Samara is seriously pissed off with me, though. There is her capital. Oh, there it is. Don't get into a fight just yet. Reorganise this to have a siege leader. Dizier says, are these 6 Amalfitans besieging a thing of yours? Well, they're probably not besieging anything usefully. There are 6 of them. Yes, they probably were. I seem to have mislaid them now, though. For now, I'm going to assume that the Amalfitans have pissed off somewhere while I wasn't paying attention. But like 6 troops aren't going to be a problem, and I defeated their 14,000. Was that the next one of the places there? Oh no, Struk must be up here, where I'm gradually taking over part of the Byzantine Empire simply because I can. Oh right, well that's brave. Let's bring in some reinforcements just in case. We have some pretty decent commanders there. Let's just have a look around, make sure there's nothing too worrying going on. What? All right, you are bringing quite a lot of troops in there, aren't you? Probably not a problem, but let's prioritise the defence of this. Because I think this battle is going to be easier to win. That one I think is going to be a bit dodgier, so let's give them the better commanders. Back up here. Right, so someone else joining a defensive pact. You've been attacked in Irbid. Oh, no, Princess Iraka of Jerusalem lost her holy war against the Najidids because no one apparently can beat the Najidids except me. This is silly, they are soft and should be easily squished. Right. Right, we now have some war score against the Byzantine Empire, Holy Roman Empire, finally. It takes a long time just to get into the relevant bits of the desert. And that's for me, who owns most of the desert.
A daughter was born to the wife you were never married to.
Well, yes. Okay.
Did anyone mention she was pregnant when you divorced her?
No, I didn't think to check. And possibly it wasn't apparent at the time. Like,
I suppose if you perpetrate a divorce by writing to the Pope instead of talking to her first, she's not going to have the opportunity to mention any relevant comments like that.
interestingly, she isn't tagged as being illegitimate.
That's extra confusing.
Even though surely if it was an annulment, she's now an illegitimate child. Oops. Yes, I hadn't got the message about her being pregnant, so I think she wasn't, because usually you do get an announcement at the point at which it becomes apparent to, well, I mean, anyone who's willing to talk to me, at the point at which it becomes a visible trait on the character display.
Right, it does model the fact that there's a couple of months before it shows up.
Yes. Right, well, we seem to be holding our own in the mountains, just about. I'm a bit worried we might not hold our own for very long, mind. Have won the Battle of Yarmouk, though, as expected. We have captured Duke Jordanes the Accursed, who is presumably not worth any war score. Let's keep him. I don't think we want to let them have him back as a commander. He has martial skill of 30. You're staying in my prison. Right, now we need to get some of the troops out of here before they all die of starvation. Well, that battle is not going brilliantly, especially since the HRE have just brought in lots more troops. Oh well, that's not our primary focus anyway. Not that it really needs doing, but let's squish those 57 before they do anything interesting. Meanwhile, what was that lot doing there? They should be arranging to intercept those 3,500, though probably not in the mountains. Some extra technology points from my spy master. Right, that is quite a big Holy Roman fleet, so we want to make sure that we're ready to meet them on their arrival. Don't think that will be a problem, though. Right, we now have full control of Daria, so we will now start getting ticking war score for holding it. We have plus 0.00% for controlling Daria, but that will gradually go up as time passes. So let's bring those troops back to where we want to actually fight the Holy Roman Empire, namely over on the coast. No, we have actually left some there. That's what the garrison is. So I think we have left 364 troops in that castle and some number of troops there as well. I don't know quite. I can't remember quite how the modelling works, but I think you do
You do
peel off some of the troops to occupy the place.
It's just that at that point they immediately vanish from the number in the thing you can move around.
Yes. And I can't remember quite how it accounts for it, and I bet it has the problem that this game often has of accidentally having troops appear in multiple places. So that battle is almost certainly going to be lost. Right, where are they coming ashore? That looks like they're coming ashore in Jaffa. So I think that means I need to get this lot a bit more organised. It looks like the Byzantine Empire is now moving away to try to deal with that, which is silly of them. But we should let them be silly so that we can take on this, which is an actual HRE army. So actually let's go that way, and then we can pick up this lot. Let's assault that lot so that we can take it out fast, because that way we'll start getting ticking war score against the Byzantines. Then this lot can all head into Tiberias. And then we can, the supply limit, the supply limit's a bit iffy in Tiberias. Let's have them carry on to Jerusalem then, because the supply limit in Jerusalem is fine. I mean, there's still a theoretical chance we could win this battle, but it's very theoretical. Right, now it is actually theoretical. Right, they're moving into Jerusalem as well. That's probably fine. Let's stick. Actually, given I'm still stuck up here, losing that battle. We've got the best we can in here, but that should be good enough. They've changed their mind about going to Jerusalem because they've realised what a terrible idea it is. They're now going to Acre, so we want to meet them in Acre. They will probably then not go to Acre, and then we'll meet them in Jaffa instead. Right, yes, as expected, I did eventually lose that battle. That's actually kind of fine. I mean, it's not good. It's reduced my war score against the Byzantine Empire, but my war score against the Byzantine Empire is still plus 73% and going up the longer the war goes on. Right, we'll have to squash them at some point, but let's beat the HRE first. The HRE are bringing ashore another bunch of troops, as many as 2,900, but I don't think they're going to be a problem. And the HRE have abandoned besieging that place again. Good. The HRE are bringing in, well, that might be 40,000 troops arriving. Yes, indeed. But there'll be 40,000 troops with half morale, which against 35,000 troops with full morale and some halfway competent commanders should still be okay. Now they're going to Ascalon instead. That's not a problem. Right. Yes. Because I just captured the Holy Roman Emperor. The actual Holy Roman Emperor, with a martial skill of 8, was turned up in person to try to defend one little county in the middle of the desert.
Wow.
Well, Kaiser Thietmar the Handsome.
Is it possible that no one dared to contradict him when he had a very silly idea?
I mean, apart from the terrible temptation to ransom him for, oh, you only get 385 gold. Well, no, sod that then. Right. Enforced demands. Duke Antonio II of Nafu gains the county of Daria. Yes. Right.
Is the Holy Roman Emperor still in your prison?
He should be released as a result of that ending the war.
That makes sense.
There. Kaiser Thietmar the Handsome has been released from King Nuno the Lionheart's dungeon.
Well, that gives you 34,000 troops to concentrate on the Byzantines with,
Yes.
if only for the fact they've got a fair old way to walk.
I mean, the troops that besieged Daria have still only managed to move one county away from it because enormous Great Arabian Desert. There's a reason why I didn't think the Holy Roman Empire were ever going to actually be able to take Daria back. It takes so long to get anywhere over there. Someone else has joined a defensive pact against me.
I mean, you do just take on both major empires at once. I can understand why they might have decided you were a bit scary.
You're a bit confused about your gender, my dear Araka. Surely you are Countess Araka of Hamadan. Or maybe not. She's apparently a princess at least. Oh, the fleeing army from the Battle of Edessa has finally returned. Let's send them up the coast. Oh, Prince Archbishop Hugo of Munster has not yet been released. I didn't. I assumed I would capture him at the end of the. I would release him at the end of the war I caught him in. The prayers of Prince Archbishop Hugo have not gone unnoticed. Is there such a thing as a limit to my power? He's still a traitor, but I lose 5 piety.
You only get that choice.
I don't have a choice there, but anyway, we should ransom him. Because, like, we caught him in the Holy Roman Empire War. I thought he would thus be released at the end of that war. Yes, well, let's go and hit them as well then. Oh, it's mountains. Oh, sod it. We can beat him, especially if we send that lot in as well. Let's just check. We have got an organiser in that. Let's put a different organiser in here. I think we already did. In the hope that, but neither of them will actually get there soon enough. A new Duke of Arabia, who quite likes me because I put a lot of effort into making him like me. Well, any other prisoners that I should get rid of? He's the guy with the utterly terrible, terribly scary martial skill who is definitely staying in my prison until we finish this war. Okay, they've decided not to go to the mountainous place after all. Well, if you're going to be like that, we'll come and hit you in the plains then. Don't care. Don't really care about any sieges. We're going to win this. I mean, we could have won this one just by waiting it out now. During the Battle of Hama, the enemy cornered my commander, Philip Markarith, who probably could have made it out of the fight had he not been overwhelmed by his enemies. The Scout frowns. I am sorry to bring you these news, my lord. Yes, that is sad. He was a decent organiser. And sadly, they've just besieged some of the territory back off me. Leopold di Spoleto, King of Africa, has joined a defensive pact against me. Right. Is that because Africa is falling apart? No, Africa has... Oh, what the... Yes, Africa is falling apart. Africa has now split into Africa and Egypt. And Africa is all the random rubbish, and Egypt is like a reasonably sane kingdom, kind of. At least is vaguely contiguous. So Africa is not the great power it once was. Yes, but they took back some of their besieged territory. But we've got 16% so far from just... yes. But it's gone up to 19% for controlling Irbid. I don't know that... don't know what else has changed, but still. So... yeah, do we go after them? Or do we just do what we originally planned to do and sit tight on the border? Yes, like, there's nothing they can now besiege back off us. So my inclination is like to spread out along the border a bit, so as to reduce our attrition. Who is he? Why do I care? I don't think I do. The King of Egypt has joined the defensive pact as well. I seem to have lost my marshal. I should fix that.
Was that the commander who was lost?
Don't think so, no. Who is the Metropolitan of Forez? He's part of the Byzantine Empire, so we'll hold on to him for a moment. Actually, he's probably not contributing to my war score, is he? And he's not that not that interesting. So we can ransom him. Let's bring my fleet home because it was its purpose, or both of my fleets, because their purpose was to watch out for the Holy Roman Empire.
Byzantine seem to have the same idea as you. To split up and spread out along the border.
Let's try to stick to the slightly more defensible counties. Well, that's fine. If we both just stand still, I win. Oh no, they're coming to say hello. Oh, they found some plains that they can meet me in, right. Actually, let's, in case they think that they're movement locked, they can't stop themselves now. So, if I'm lucky, this will get me up to my 100% war score.
95, quantifiably up.
Yeah, and if not, we can probably defeat that one, but I'd quite like not to have to. Has that fleet turned up yet? No. Yes, right. Let us pause, damn it, because I need to end this war before that second army arrives. Force demands gains the county of Irbid. New important decisions available. Form an empire of the Outremer. Right, let's do some tidying.
You're not going to press the button immediately.
No, because I want to found all the kingdoms I can first. Right. As I can create the kingdoms of Arabia, Yemen and Syria. I can't, unfortunately, usurp Iraq because part of it's still occupied by the Najidids. Yes, I've dismissed the mercenary company. They were one of the armies I just dismissed. It is yet. So, create the Kingdom of Arabia. Will give me 400 prestige, cost 200 gold and 200 piety. I'm the King of Arabia now. Create the Kingdom of Yemen. create the Kingdom of Syria. I would love to usurp Iraq, but I'm reluctant to wait in the hope that I'll be able to, especially given that the thing that's stopping me is that they control all this land way away from me. So I think we have to accept that Iraq is not going to be part of my de jure lands. And now, form an empire of the Outremer. An end to the Muslim caliphates. Since the rise of the Prophet in Arabia, the Muslim faith has been a strong independent actor throughout the lands. Emperor Nuno put an end to that, and the Muslim faith has been shattered by the latest advances of the Catholics. In a grand announcement in front of his castle in Jerusalem, Emperor Nuno declared all the infidel faiths dead. Well, they're not very dead, but still. And that all previous believers will be given a choice to convert to the true faith or fear the Catholic faith, as it would crush them, as it did the Muslims. Nowhere is safe from the Crusaders of Outremer. The Holy Land is saved, gain 1,000 prestige.
You need 5,000 prestige, you gain 1,000 for doing it.
Yes. And so now, Emperor Nuno the Lionheart of Outremer. With these faintly ludicrous arms, which is full of crosses. Excuse me, why does it still say Jerusalem?
Maybe it hasn't updated.
Outremer. Sadly, oh, no, it looks like we have gained the Najdid Sultanate as a de jure vassal, even though we don't control it. That's slightly surprising.
Didn't actually conquer it.
I suppose I did control all of the parts of it within the land within the Near East region. So maybe that was enough. Right. Well, that's that special action done. And it's now midnight.
Yes, I think I'm...
So I think this is the point at which we wind up for tonight. And I have to come up with an idea for what to do next. I mean, I really quite liked the idea of a crusade for Utsang. Which was one of the options, and which I would have taken if I had been on the other side of creating Outremer. But
What causes more crusades to happen? Does the Pope just sort of
passage of time mostly.
just declare them as and
So the Pope can't call a crusade again until 1290. So there's another 27 years before that can happen. Still, so
but then it's reasonably sure that he will.
yes, he generally does. If there's anyone left to attack.
It's a fairly big map.
Right. Oh, we've got stuck with agnatic succession. That's just not acceptable. We'll have to switch back to absolute cognatic as soon as we can. But that's going to take 10 years. Happily, Nuno is still Basque and so can still do this. And we'll might want to hand out some of those kingdom titles as well. But that is all a matter for another day. For tonight, I shall say save and quit. Good night.